I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that?
All right, man. Well, I know we talked about this for a while, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do this episode, but I went back and I watched All the President's Men, the one starring Robert Redford, about the Nixon thing, and yeah, so let's get into it.
Well, about that.
What?
I thought this week, since we've had some monumental news, we would talk about a more current impeachment.
What?
Right. Have you been following the news the last day or so?
What's news? What is day?
Well, okay, so it has...
That's how we get the whole podcast in itself.
Yeah, right.
What is news and what is day?
Yeah. Well, the last 24 hours has seen quite a sea change in political sentiment in Washington.
Oh.
And they've opened up a formal impeachment inquiry over Trump's quid pro quo deal with Ukraine.
If you could, this was being videotaped, my eyes would be right out of my head, or like my hat would fly up.
Or you step on a rake and it falls.
Yeah, I slip on a banana,
Right. So there are actually
Okay, I'm kidding. Yes, there's impeachment, so we're going to talk about impeachment.
Right. Although watching All the President's Men wouldn't have been a bad.
I mean, if
segue.
you like fiction,
right?
Yeah.
I loved that movie as a kid, and I actually read the book. Great movie. I don't know if there's a lot of parallels other than that there's a crook in the White House who's getting impeached.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at.
You know what I love about this? Okay.
Everything is what I love. Go ahead.
Now, this is an inquiry, but it's a formal inquiry, which means they are going to impeach the motherfucker.
Right.
They're going to start doing... So, last week, if you guys were paying attention... as I pretended not to.
Yes.
They had a hearing with Lewandowski, who's a Trump toad.
Yes.
And this turd monger, he was being a real douchebag throughout the whole thing, and he wouldn't answer any questions. He was acting smug. They need to change this. They'll do Republican, Democrat.
Yeah.
And they have the worst Republicans there, like Matt Gaetz and Collins. These are real These are schoolyard bullies from the 80s whose dad wants to tear down the right center kind of douchebags.
It is like a Sinister Six.
These are they could not have picked they're literally wrestling heels.
Yeah.
These guys. And so you get the Democratic candidate.
Right.
I'm not gonna fall into that trap the Republicans have set up.
Yeah, that's
Republicans. So you'll have the Democratic congressman or congresswoman say, interrogate Lewandowski, ask him real questions, and of course he would refuse to answer it. And then they would go to the Republican, and then all of a sudden they're all chummy, and it's so ridiculous. It's it feels so scripted. They'll be like, "Oh, I apologize that you have to go through this charade,"
right.
And then it goes back to the Democratic, and it really screws up the flow. But then it got to the point where what's his name? Swalwell?
Yes,
the guy who dropped out of the race.
He was one of the first who dropped out.
Just too bad, because I still think he was one of the better. He's one of those people I wouldn't mind sticking around longer.
I liked him a whole lot. I didn't want him in the race that much longer, but man, the guy's been a trooper.
I wouldn't mind him if he was still in the debates.
Sure,
but regardless, he set him up, and he basically asked for they were going to hold him in contempt.
Yeah, right.
And then they basically I can't even remember it. I highly recommend you guys try to find this. It was on C-SPAN. I'm sure you can find this on YouTube. But they go through a vote, and basically they brought out a special counsel, or basically a lawyer.
Yes, an actual, honest to God, practicing lawyer.
Yeah,
right.
And he tore the living shit out of Lewandowski. He
fucked up his world.
He played clips, and some people, I was watching some of the news. I was watching C-SPAN, what was going on, and of course the media pundits are saying the Democrats are failing here. They're letting him slide,
which was true up till that point.
True up to that point, but it's almost you feel were they fucking setting him up?
Oh yeah, I think it's like boxing. You tire the guy out.
Yeah, did they make him to the point where he was so cocky And the Republicans at this point were not part of it. And for like a half hour, this lawyer grilled the shit out of Lewandowski and basically got him to admit to lying.
Yeah, you could see his face fall. Like halfway through that, he realized.
And this prick, like, he is a prick. Like, Lewandowski. Yeah. Like, this is not a good person. Like,
no.
I'm sorry, he's just not.
Well, you know what my favorite story of Corey Lewandowski is? He got his. Do you know how he started in politics?
He came out of the dirt.
He busted like the town manager for running a fantasy football league. Right? Like, think of the most dickish thing you could ever do.
A real, what do you call that? Like, high honor, like, wow, you did it. You got the town. You saved the town.
A couple guys at the local town council had started a fantasy football league.
Oh, no.
And they did use their office emails or whatever.
Oh, no.
And he, like, tore down the city council because of this. And what a dick. It's like...
It's not like, there were... like school lunches were being underfunded.
No.
There wasn't like some, we gotta put a stop sign up in the street corner because people are getting killed. This is like, I'm gonna stop a fantasy football league.
Fantasy football
fun.
league.
I'm gonna stop some fun.
Right. So that's Corey's.
Seems like a true crusader.
Yes.
For the people.
Right.
Well, that's a good, interesting note. So he basically, the council basically played clip because Lewandowski's like a media guy, and CNN always had him on. So he basically got him to admit that he's a liar.
Yes.
And that basically, I would say that definitely started everything with what happened a week later, or where we are now, with the impeachment proceedings to happen.
Well, the additional thing that, and I believe, and I would have to defer to an actual attorney, but with the impeachment inquiry being formal, I believe that the subpoenas they issue get fast-tracked. Like Trump has been battling all this in court. I don't want to give you the stuff that you're legally entitled to.
Well, Lewandowski acted like he had these presidential privileges.
Right.
And they're like, no, you don't.
Never
you
worked
don't
for the
have any of
executive
these
office.
privileges.
Right. So now and previously the courts really had to kind of like allow it to play through the court process. But now that it's an official impeachment inquiry, the subpoena powers are ramped up, and they can compel witness testimony a lot more effectively. And I think that's the big advantage. And I think, honestly, like, the word on the street is that Trump is a little more freaked out than he's letting on.
Well, I mean, okay, so basically a couple, within the week with the Lewandowski thing, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, the big leak was the Ukraine thing. And I'll let you explain that more, since you seem to... Since you know all about that fantasy football, you probably know about the Ukraine thing too.
Well, like, one of Trump's big things was a while ago he had called the president of the Ukraine, and he did basically a mob shakedown. He said, "Hey, look,
nice country you got there."
Exactly, that's exactly it. And there's like some subtext.
You wouldn't want Putin in there, would you?
Well, because Putin had been in the Ukraine, and he had annexed Crimea, and there's a bunch of like subterfuge there and whatnot, and Ukraine had these elections, and they kicked out some old people and they got some new people, and Trump rolls in when this new guy rolls in,
and the new guy is a comedian, right?
Isn't
he the one that was elected in? He was like an actor.
Yes.
Supposedly the joke was he played a president.
Oh jeez, I don't know that.
Okay, but I'm positive that this is the one where because I remember seeing the news a couple months ago when he did win that. Basically, they is like Stephen Colbert became president of the United States or something.
Yeah, that all tracks. But Trump basically said, "Hey, we do a lot for your country. We do much more than we should." And the other guy's like, "Thank you, sir. I stayed at Trump Hotel last week." I mean, literally, like buttering him up that way. And then he's like, "We'd like to buy these Javelin missiles." And Trump is like, "Well, about that, I'm going to need you to do me a favor, and I need you to investigate my political rival and try to put his son in jail."
Who's not even the candidate.
Right.
What a dumbass.
It's
like he's not. Yes, is Biden higher up? Like it's not like he's wasting his time like having to investigate like Julian Castro or Tulsi. Well, Tulsi's probably working for him.
Right.
That's we'll get to that in a little bit. But Biden's one of the top 3.
Sure.
So, but he is a dumbass. And basically, what this revealed was, and we could talk about we'll get into Pelosi and everything. We'll talk about her. basically what he did is part of what Trump is, the theme of what's Trump, why he was investigated with the Robert Mueller thing, why his former campaign managers and currently in jail, why all these other people are in jail. George Papadopoulos. I always love when he says that name. George Papadopoulos. And makes delicious Papa pizza in the Papadopoulos.
Papa John's.
George Papa John's.
Well, yeah.
Cheesy bread. So it just fits his theme. So he basically, it's like we had all the shit on him. Everybody's like, when are you going to impeach this fucker? When are you going to impeach this fucker? And it's like, well, everything we can impeach him on. You know, there's all these like people who are like, oh, you didn't impeach him when he had the kids in the cages, but you impeach him on this. Well, you know, here's the thing. You basically leave somebody like a shovel, and they're eventually going to dig themselves into a hole. It's almost like, okay, well, I could come in earlier and impeach him. Mm-hmm. And it'll be a huge political battle. Yeah. And the Republicans will be fully armed and ready to go with their whatever, their networks and their trolls and their everything. Or I could just sit back and watch him do what he does. Because he doesn't understand how government works. Yeah. He really doesn't understand. And it also shows his connection to Putin as well. Because so Ukraine, I'm not a big like geopolitical person. Like, or I'm just a regular guy.
I'm just a country lawyer.
I'm just a caveman lawyer. Unfrozen. We're really just frozen. Yeah, right. I'm like a meatloaf frozen TV dinner.
Swanson's.
Nah, not even Banquet. Yeah, the shit one. Sorry, Banquet. Yeah. I wish I was a hungry man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 2 pieces of turkey with a hungry man. Yeah, extra stuffing.
Right.
Bigger dessert. Yeah. Bigger dessert. Okay, so Ukraine to Russia, you know, like Taiwan is with China. Yeah, yeah. It's like, and like you can't recognize Taiwan as like its own like country. It's like it's just a huge nightmare. It's like Taiwan's like, we sometimes like treat them like they're their own, and then China gets super pissed. Right. Ukraine is kind of like Taiwan to Russia. Like, it's like Putin's been trying to annex them, right? Or he has, right?
Parts of it, yeah.
Yeah, and he would love to just suck them all back in. Right. And Trump's, you know, shady connections to Putin. Yeah. Has, it just like opens the door. And it's like, it just makes, and again, it's like another reason why you impeach him, because it's like, okay, everyone's like, oh, so you're just going to impeach him on this. Well, I'm like, well, this is the start.
Well, and also, I mean, like, this is the first thing I think that everybody can understand in pretty simple terms. Like, if you look to me and you, and to normal, regular humans with heartbeats and stuff like that, putting kids in cages is abominable.
Yes, but it's inexcusable.
The other side,
anyone who says that, if you say, well, Obama did it, well, first of all, he didn't, right? And fuck you.
But you could say, like, look, you know, these are cages in the sense that there's like, they can weasel their way out of it. And to be honest, I don't think there's like technically a law against doing it in America. You know, like there aren't.
We got private prisons here. We got. I mean, we got all kinds of fucked up things.
I disagree with it.
Regardless, it's not in the big picture. I don't think they could just impeach him based on that, or at least if they can, but they're going to lose.
But here it says, like, look, you cannot legally call up foreign countries.
He's literally committing a crime for everyone to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's
he's attempting to make a crime. Therefore, that is an impeachable offense.
Well, it is a crime because, like, just because you're not successful doesn't mean you didn't commit a crime.
You attempted to do it, and it's there for everyone to see. Yeah. You're doing it. See, everything, you know, with the Russia thing, like, that's before he got in the White House. Mm-hmm. It's like there's lots of, even though he did a lot of that shady shit, there's so much stuff, and then you get all those people who are like, oh, why don't we focus on now? Okay, well, now we are.
It is, yeah. And that's the other
big
difference.
He's doing what he does.
This is about 2020, because he is currently tampering with the election that's yet to occur.
Right. We're not even a year away.
No, he's currently engaging in, you know, this nonsense. So this is like pretty easy to understand. To be honest with
So,
you.
and again, this will open the doors to all kinds of shenanigans, right? Because with the impeachment process and everything, they're going to be able to bring in people now where, like, and you tell me if I'm wrong, you know how Trump would try to prevent people from coming in? He won't be able to prevent them or something like that, right?
Yeah, an impeachment inquiry is like you're investigating the president. You know, that's what you're investigating.
Right.
Previously, he could be like, "Well, you're investigating something kind of related to me, but not really."
Could they bring in like Barr and stuff like that?
I believe so.
They could bring in his kids. They could bring in like
I believe.
I'd love to see Eric Trump.
Man.
No, Donald Trump. Eric Trump. I'm like, that's like. I don't care about him.
Right.
But Donald Trump Jr. is such a repugnant piece of shit.
Yeah.
I would love to see him get grilled. It'd be so funny.
It would be.
His daughter.
Oh
my God, that'd be hysterical.
Yeah. Treason Barbie.
Treason Barbie. Collusion Ken. Treason Barbie.
They could. Yeah, I saw Rudy Colludi was tested.
Rudy Colludi. Yeah, I would love to see Rudy at getting. It would just be the biggest shit show.
Yeah.
I think he would literally have a stroke.
But they could, just like Rick Scott did in Florida, they could repeatedly assert their Fifth Amendment privilege to not incriminate themselves, which would be hilarious to watch. You know, like
right, because they'd be like, okay, well, you're basically like. I feel like whenever anyone does that, you basically like. I feel like pleading the Fifth really, and of course, I'm not a lawyer,
right?
I'm not even a.
But you can't, like, it is like...
It's like a sign of guilt right there, right?
Oh, it's 100%. I mean, now, yes, it's 100% a sign of guilt, you know, but, like, you would have to go there, like...
And say it, right?
They would have to go there and say it. You know, like,
on TV, it'll be live for everyone to see it, and it'll get replayed constantly.
Right, and that's a nice campaign commercial, is, like, every Trump crony saying... I can't answer that because I'd go to jail if I did. You know, like basically that's what they're saying. You know, it's like, look, I'd love to answer that, but I would be handcuffed.
So it was, you know, it was like my birthday was on Monday, and I was really, I said one of my birthday gifts would be
right.
Well, I got a Sega Genesis Mini.
Yes.
Yes, that was nice. And I was hoping that Donald Trump would get impeached.
Right.
I feel like the Sega Genesis Mini was a little more of an extravagant gift. And, you know, and Donald Trump, whatever, not big deal.
Right, yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen until the next day, so it was a belated birthday
It
gift.
is.
And I started seeing it in the morning, and like I started seeing people talking about it, and I was like, holy shit.
Right.
And he was at the UN, and you could totally tell he already knew already. You see that speech he gave at the UN?
Yeah.
Where he couldn't even open his eyes, and he's like slurring his words.
Squinting and stuff.
Honestly, I don't think he's even going to make it to 2020. I think he physically will not make it. He looked and sounded like complete shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like this guy's the bastion of health, but I've seen him animated. I've seen him talk. Mm-hmm. And he was like slurring his words. First of all, you're there to talk about the climate. You had this 16-year-old girl that nothing shows you what kind of dog shit people you're dealing with the conservatives and Republicans when they attack a 16-year-old girl and they start and just like the classic bull as they are, because she has Asperger's. Right. Nothing says like class and charm like going after a 16-year-old girl with Asperger's.
Yes.
And actually, there was this one douchebag on Fox.
Oh yeah, I saw him.
Do you know the guy's? I didn't want to name him. Do you want to name him?
I can't.
It's like a mass shooter. I don't want to give him attention.
He was a low-level nobody on Fox.
And he was trying to get on, and he basically said that she was like...
he said she was mentally ill.
Or basically saying she was like mentally retarded, and her parents were like putting her on TV to like, and she had no control of whatever she says, which is complete horse shit.
She's 16.
Okay, Fox, he said he's not welcome on there anymore.
Yeah.
Wow, that's I guess that's the line that crossed.
Well,
Fox actually came out and said, I mean, they've had people who tiptoed around Sandy Hook shootings and other shootings,
like
and they
disgusting. They came out with like a pretty strong statement, if I remember.
I guess maybe they're starting to smell the shift in the wind a little bit, and they realize,
Laura
you know
Ingraham.
what? Laura Ingraham and Tucker Carlson. I don't think they're long for this world. I could see, I could see those two though. They'll become less radical. They're political animals, and they'll like calm down for a little bit, and then they'll come back in full swing again. And
well, you can tell Tucker's calming down when he puts his bow tie on. Like he's, and there's like a certain Tuckerman evolution where he has like a little beanie.
Yeah,
and
fuck that guy. So did you see though? what Trump tweeted about the girl, though?
Yes. Oh, and then did you see what...
She changed her profile to that, which is hysterical.
Well, that's how you beat a bully.
Yeah.
You know? And it's funny because,
it's funny, when he says it sounds like a threat.
Right.
When she posts it on there, it's like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's
I'm
all about
the future. Right.
Yeah. I'm just nice. A girl who cares about the future. Nice future you got there.
Yeah.
It'd be a shame to see if something bad happened to it.
Well,
fuck you.
Yeah. It was. Did you? And you saw, I'm sure, that photograph of like the girl mad dogging Trump.
Oh, and then there was the meme that said Princess Leia looking at Darth Vader.
Yeah.
About to blow up the Alderaan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but So that day, he was giving that speech, and I was like, obviously something's up. He got some bad news.
Well, yeah. Did you hear he called Pelosi?
Yeah, supposedly begging her.
Right. Simpering at her feet to say, like, can we work something out?
Yeah. Okay, so we'll get to that in a little bit, today. But, okay, so then Pelosi was being interviewed by some group. I don't know what it was for. I forgot. I did watch it. She kind of like laughed it off, but she said something about impeaching, but she kind of said later today.
Yeah.
This was not for that. And then at 5 o'clock, or 5 o'clock Eastern time, she came out, and she basically gave some like speech about the Constitution.
Yep.
Basically said, we're having a formal impeachment on this asshole.
Right.
And you know what? Like, I've been like, just any chance I could get, I'll tag her or say like, hey, how about you impeach him? Like,
me too,
she would post something on Twitter or something like, oh, he's doing this and this. I said, hey, I got an idea. Why don't you impeach the guy?
Right.
But you know what? Again, it's like, this is inexcusable.
It is.
And it's there. It's so easy. It's there. This guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm amazed that... Does that mean the whole entire Republican Party is idiots? Do they not give a shit? Does not anyone...
I don't think...
Does he have any counsel? Does he have any, like...
I don't think the bad guys, I don't think they care because they're getting their tax cuts.
Yeah, they have the tax cuts.
And they're
getting... It's going to take years for that to go away.
They're taking a wrecking ball to the regulatory functions.
They got their judges in.
And they got like 1 million super unqualified, super radical right-wing judges who are in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
They
put in all kinds of... And we're not talking like the Supreme Court. We're talking federal, like local, city, state courts. That these are the type of judges that that can come in. Like I remember there was a minimum wage, not minimum wage thing, but like before Obama left, there was this one thing. It was like an overtime rule.
Yeah.
And then there was some right wing judge from Texas put a stop to it.
Yeah.
They can do that. And there's been left-leaning or normal judges that have put stops on Trump things. They can put a ban on. They can stop his Muslim ban. They could do those things. And people don't realize that that's just one state. How does he stop it? It's like, well, it's enough to keep it tied in the courts.
Yeah, and a lot of them they go through districts, and every time a judge issues a ruling, it becomes case law. And it's like a little further embedded into the way we do things. And so if you have some fucknut out in eastern Idaho, comes up with some bizarre ruling that says like owls are terrorists or something, then all of a sudden that's law and it's like precedent, and the next court has to jump through hoops to say, well, look, maybe the owl wasn't the terrorist, or maybe it was the Bundy clan with assault rifles,
right? Yeah, a terrorist group,
right?
They were a terrorist group.
Yeah. So it's a big deal. Anyway, that's what I think.
Domestic terrorist group.
That's why, Lindsey Graham doesn't give a fuck, and that's why.
Yeah, they don't. They don't give a shit. They got what they wanted, and they've done enough damage to last years.
Yeah. Well, now I have heard, and I don't know how much this is true, that some cracks are showing. Eventually, you get to the point where, look.
Well, what was the big argument against impeachment was, you can impeach him, but once it goes to the Senate
will quit him.
But that's bullshit because now you expose the Senate. You get people on the Senate to be shaky. You get any senator that might be afraid of losing their election, or you get one senator. Obviously Susan Collins is fucking toast.
Yep.
I think there's a senator in Colorado who's toast.
Yep. Yeah.
Like those two.
Pick and Pooper's coming for him.
Yeah, Pick and Pooper. He's going to lay poop on his parade. Old man Cornhole.
Yep. Well,
I don't know if
he might stick around. But you're right. It forces them
to defend themselves. See that one guy, John Kennedy?
Oh, the guy
The one who's
from Louisiana.
Yeah, the one with like he's like a cartoon
circus
character.
clown.
Dude, that fucking guy, I hate that guy. He acts like he's this concerned guy, the way he talks. It's all theatrical. He's a turd. Do you ever watch Green Acres?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the guy who would like sell, like, I'll sell you a bridge? Or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
The con man?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
That is him.
That's it. Like, I'm like, every time I see that guy, I just think of the guy from the con man from Green Acres.
Kennedy has, on rare occasion...
Unfortunate, that name, and it's very confusing.
It really is.
His name's John Kennedy. Yeah. It's like, you...
Woof.
On occasion, he'll... But at the end of the day, he ain't on your side.
No, he's not.
He's another one of those, like, concerned face Republicans. Like, Jeff Flake was a concerned face Republican. Now you have Mitt Romney. They're concerned.
Pearls clutched tightly against his chest.
But they'll the minute they'll vote against.
Well, here's what I think. Like, when Nixon was impeached in Watergate, initially it was very similar. All the Republicans were like, "How can you? This is an outrage!" And then, like, as things happened, there was a dam bursting, right? And I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, like, my gut feeling tells me that the Senate will acquit him, and he won't.
Let them know. They'll be forced to do it.
But you could see, look. You could see. You need 2/3 of the Senate to convict him, but I don't think it's out of the question that you get like 55.
Well, let me tell. What was it? There was this one guy. I don't know his name. I know he's like a former campaign advisor or campaign manager for Republicans. Mm-hmm. Again, one of those like more friendly face ones you see on MSNBC. You know, the ones where you think they're your friend.
Right.
Those lovable Republicans on MSNBC. Yes. Those rapscallions.
Yeah, they put on a sweater like Ted Bundy did.
Yeah. Well, this one guy, he said, he was joking. He says, well, I can tell you right off the bat that I know 30 senators that would, if the vote was behind the closed doors, they would vote for impeachment.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, just fucking do it. Like, these people are fucking cowards. Because it's like, okay, they're scared that some Trumpian tar monster is going to come out and primary them. Well, let them. Let them come out and try to primary you. And you could say, you're defending a crook.
Right.
Now, I know that, if you communicate it well, I know the Trump cult, but the Republicans didn't help with the Trump cult. It's like with the Tea Party, they helped, like, they let the loonies run the bin. Like, the chicken, the wolves.
Here's my crazy
whatever old-timey colloquialism.
Here's my crazy conspiracy theory. Trump late today said that just like he gave up his calls, you should also look into Mike Pence's calls with the president of Ukraine. Did you see that?
So before the impeachment started, Trump was trying to, for like a day or two, they were trying to say, well, we should really investigate into Biden.
Right, yeah.
And his son with the Ukraine. And it's complete bullshit. It's like, it doesn't even matter because, again, he's not in power, and it's just stupid. It's a distraction. So once the impeachment thing came in, that kind of just put a fucking squash to that.
Yes.
And then, today, Trump said...
Yeah, Trump said, hey, you should check out Pence, too. Now,
so that means I'll be President Pelosi?
Well, imagine this. Here's my crazy conspiracy theory. Let's say Trump has like 2 or 3 of his brain cells firing on all cylinders. He's just had a few hamburgers. He's like all proteined up. Now, let's say there's 30 Republican senators willing to vote to impeach, and they get together and they all say to themselves, well, shit, we could have President Pence, right?
Yeah.
And they get to the Democrats and they're like, look, if we vote to impeach, can we go with Pence and we'll just run out the clock on this term and we'll have an election and everyone will be happy. And Trump, sitting in his jammies watching Fox.
Fuck
he's
Pence.
like,
he doesn't give a shit about Pence.
This, right? He's like, if I'll be out of here and subject to prosecution globally.
Yeah, unless he makes a deal with Pence to do
a pardon.
Like Ford.
Right, but that's I think why Trump threw Pence under the bus. Right?
Do you think so, or do you think he's just an idiot?
I think he's just an idiot. But like, that's my crazy conspiracy theory: is that Trump is like,
I'm not going to let you guys. Push. You're all going to go down with me.
Right? Because if the Republicans think we can have President Pence, who's technically probably worse than Trump.
I know. Okay, so one of the comments, the thing is, and I'm familiar with, like, internet trolls and social media trolls and all, and just lots of right wing memes and talking points, because I post a lot of political art on my page, on one of my pages, and on Instagram, and I'll get some crazy comments. And one of them is, and I don't know where these people usually are. I don't know if these people are Trump supporters. Sometimes they're not, but usually people will leave a comment saying like, Pence is much worse. Yeah, and I'm like, is he? Because I'll tell you, the thing about Pence is he worse? Yes, he has some horrific ideas, but he has an actual ideology. Okay. You know where he stands.
He's predictable.
He does not have the cult of personality. He's as exciting as a bowl of sour warm milk.
Yes.
Or wheat paste.
That's what Mother says.
Yeah, that's what Mother says. He's a creep.
Yes.
Again, he does not have the bravado, the personality. He's not a former game show host. He doesn't. No one knows what the hell Pence is. They know what Trump is because Trump has been a personality for the past like 50 years almost. Like the name, and like he had one of the most popular reality show for like a couple years with The Apprentice. He's a household name. Yeah. He's Pepsi. He's Coke. Pence is Diet Right. No, that's an insult to RC Cola. RC Cola is a great cola. He's not even. Well, I think Diet Right was the RC Cola too, but he's not even like Diet Right's failed soda.
Okay, so
pickle urine, cat piss. He's not even. Yeah,
goes down smooth.
Delicious. Nothing like a hearty glass.
Yes.
Pickle urine, cat juice. So he will, and on top of it, he would be attached to Trump as a president. The Democrats would have to and I know people, it's very popular to say, oh, Democrats will fuck themselves up. No, that's not true. They won't.
Right.
They would have to seriously fuck something up to lose to Mike Pence on a national stage. Mike Pence
that's a fair point.
And on top of it, the problem is, though, Trump will sell him out, or Trump, whatever, because he's shown that he shows no loyalty to anyone. I don't know why anyone would work for this man. Mm-hmm. He doesn't pay people. Like, this was revealed for years. He has no loyalty to anyone. If you look at the people that remained in his cabinet, they're the worst people.
Like that guy Ben was Carson, asleep. Wilbur
Ross literally is
sleeping.
He's Rumpelstiltskin's you got
Ben
Conway.
Carson sleeps
Ben Carson is a hideous human being.
Yeah, Betsy DeVos,
like who. You know, it's like she has an agenda, destroy education, schools, and he has an agenda to just kind of make HUD completely useless because he'll just degrade it with his lack of. It's like, I mean, to put him in charge of HUD is like the most. Why would you not make him like Surgeon General? You got a guy who was a surgeon. Do you think if you were Trump and you're like, it makes sense, and that's how you know he's like racist, because it's like he's like black guy. Yep. Urban development,
right?
Or brain surgeon, Surgeon General. Now, I'm sure he'd be still horrible as a Surgeon General because he doesn't believe in women's rights when it comes to their own.
Right.
But instead, Trump, classic '80s racist or classic '60s racist, or
he's like a multi-generational racist.
Yeah, he's an evolved or devolved racist. Yes. He's got it all: classic, modern, neo, classic Nazi. Fascist, he's got it all.
Right.
But to have Ben Carson, put him out there and make him in charge of HUD, I was like, this is like laughable. This is like not.
It is. Yeah. Well, yeah. You know, I worked at a college for many years, and when you're a freshman, there's often these classes called freshman seminars. They make every kid that enters the college read a book, a similar book, common book, and we had kids read Ben Carson's book, Gifted Hands. This is like
he was a celebrated surgeon. He's considered like you know, if you did like Black History Month, you would talk about Ben Carson. Right. You would, you know,
this was like 20 years ago. It was a very inspirational story, and then like gradually it came out that he was this horrible person, and we switched books. But it was, but I probably like encouraged.
Yeah, he said something horrific about trans people recently.
Yeah, right.
It's just like. Okay, so those are the only people that are remained.
Yes.
And those are all garbage people.
Yeah, they are.
Or they're just like, they're jokes. They're grifters. They're con men.
They're just bad. They're untalented.
They don't belong in government.
People.
They don't belong. Betsy DeVos should not be anywhere near anything in government.
No.
Ben Carson.
Well, federal penitentiary.
Yeah.
Sure.
But same thing, Ben Carson should just be at home asleep.
Yes.
He should not be in government, or he should not be running any organization.
Should be yelling at old Matlock reruns.
Yeah. I don't like the trans in the Matlock episode.
Right.
Yeah, you bet. I don't remember any trans people in what was that other show? The guy, it was the guy from Beverly Hillbillies. He had his own like lawyer show.
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, it was like around Matlock years.
Well,
it doesn't even matter. He'd be yelling at that too.
Yeah. He'd be yelling at them all.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so you got the worst people running, and Trump shows no loyalty. So, and the thing is, Pence is connected to Trump anyway. Didn't the guy who was in jail right now, former campaign manager, he was the one who put Pence in there. Yeah. So honestly, Pence is all involved with this. He's in. If Trump goes down, Pence is going down too. He's not an independent factor. So the joke is that the next in line would be
Pelosi.
Yeah, President Pelosi.
That was trending late today.
I mean, that's just funny.
Well,
that's hysterical. She
that
could,
is not.
She could drink all the Napa Valley wine she wants after. I'm gonna be happy to have her.
Yes, right. I would like her to travel from the east to the west coast in her fancy limo, just
drinking
like
lattes.
chucking Starbucks cups throughout the heartland.
Red Starbucks cups. Saying happy holidays.
It's not super out of the question. Here's the thing: is that like we're a year out from the election, basically. Maybe a little bit more. The impeachment will go quickly, I think, but it'll probably be resolved. The election is probably going to be.
Well, there's some people who are like, this should happen real quick, and then there's some people like, no, let this shit drag out. And I'm like, yes, let him drag out because he will fucking implode. Look at you're one day in, and he's already outed Pence.
Yeah, that was
not in that way though. We all know not in that way. Right. Mother.
Yes. Right. So
listen, Pence is only dallies in that once a week when he goes on the cruise.
Right. Yes, and the electroshock I think mostly takes care of it.
Right.
So we should.
The conversion stasis chamber because the Tulsi Gabbard's family's former conversion therapy place.
Well,
okay. Speaking of Tulsi Gabbard, okay. So just like when Trump became president, she had a immediate response of we should support the president.
Oh
or whatever you said, like
chomping at the bit. Yep.
Yeah. Now remember, she's a Democratic congresswoman. Mm-hmm. She's running for president as a Democratic candidate.
Yes. From the great state of Manchuria.
Yeah. Hawaii.
Oh yeah, Hawaii. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Manchuria. Hanging out with Modi.
Yep.
She congratulated Modi too. I saw that a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Not Moby, Modi.
Right. Is she?
Modi's like basically he's like a fascist in India or something like that. Didn't he do something horrendous recently with Kashmir?
I believe so. Look, they've been fighting. Pakistan and India have been fighting ever since Pakistan was part of India. I mean, it's a crazy.
And they both have nuclear missiles, so they could.
Remember that movie from like 20-some years ago? God, what was it called? Strange Days, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Had William Hurt. Great soundtrack.
Oh, wait.
Was that called Strange Days?
Is that the one where the people like put on helmets?
Yes.
And could see,
they had dreams and stuff.
That was the guy from Schindler's List, the bad guy. He's Lord Voldemort.
Right. Ralph Fiennes.
Something like that.
Yeah. Well, that the world ended, or the big apocalypse there happened when Pakistan and India shot nuclear weapons at each other, and I remember at the time thinking like
the world ended in the end of the movie.
It didn't end, but like there was a nuclear crisis or something. At the end, they're all out in the desert.
Are we talking about the same movie?
I don't know.
Okay, so the one Ralph Fiennes was like almost like you wear these helmets,
right?
And it had to do with like police brutality, and it had to do with riots, and I don't think that's the same movie.
I'll Google that later.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Save
anyway,
that for another podcast.
Right.
Okay. Well, regardless, he's not a good guy, and the fact that she's like cozies up to him just says a lot more about her. So then, what does she do? You got the Democrats. You got all the Democratic candidates saying we need to impeach this fucker. Impeach. Biden gave a speech earlier that day, actually before.
From a peach orchard.
Yeah.
Which was like
he was holding a peach to Biden. He said, "This is Donald Trump." I'm gonna bang him like a drum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, whatever gets him going. I mean, that's great. I loved it. But he's not my candidate, but that's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Regardless, he basically said it's time to impeach him. All the candidates, like Beto has been saying that since the 2018 election when he was running against Cruz. He said, we need to impeach Trump.
That's what I would do.
Tulsi Gabbard or whatever said we shouldn't impeach him. It's divisive, and I'm like, the fuck are you talking? Trump is divisive. Him being there is divisive. His existence is divisive.
Yeah.
He's the guy who came up with he didn't come up with birtherism, but he perfected it.
Right.
He's like a literal swamp pit of shit.
Yeah.
He is division. His whole existence, his presidency is divisive. Everything. He couldn't even say anything bad about neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
The guy is everything he does. Yeah. And this woman says that, and I'm just like, fuck off, go away.
If I cared enough other than to have her, fuck off and go away, I would love to know the story, because it is really puzzling, some of the stances she takes.
Well, she was on that Dave Rubin, I don't know if you're familiar with that. I only was able to stomach clips from it, but basically, Dave Rubin framed, it was just typical right-wing framing, and she went along with everything.
Oh, yeah.
She basically said that the Democratic candidates are for open borders when not one candidate is for open borders. No one said that.
No one's for open borders, per se.
It doesn't even matter. She's saying, Republican talking points. She's going along with everything. And you get these, Tulsi people. Most of the people that defend her are not Democrats, or they're Republicans. When Meghan McCain says,
yes,
I wish Tulsi was at the last debate, or Ben Shapiro's favorite, I saw Yang was oh, I'm happy to have Tulsi there. I'm just ooh, Yang, I don't like you anymore.
Strike two.
Yang, you're starting to you're not a serious candidate. I know he's supposedly number 4 now.
Well, I could see that. Look, it doesn't take much.
He's promising $1,000 a month.
Right. That's a compelling argument.
To a layman, yeah. If you say that and you don't, and the person doesn't ask, what does that mean? What are the consequences?
Right.
What am I losing here? If someone said to me that you're getting $1,000 a month, I'd be like, oh boy. I would be like, well, what's the exchange?
Well, the exchange is now your health care is $32,000 a year.
Exactly.
Yeah. So here's your $12,000.
Remember that? Or a bottle of organic milk was $6.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Now it's $22.
Right. Exactly. So you're right.
Tolls are now $3 instead of 50 cents.
$3. Yeah, I honestly,
in some areas, and
right,
60 in some others.
I was going to say $3 doesn't sound bad. My commute. Anyway,
gas is now $12 because of the gas tax put in.
Look, I
don't. It's just I don't trust it, and that's fine. I don't. Again, I don't think he's a terrible candidate. I don't think he's the worst person. But when he links himself with her, I'm like,
right.
I just call it. They're the Joe Rogan candidates.
Well, Yang, and I know we're not talking about Yang, but look, when he loses eventually, if he bows out gracefully and supports the eventual candidate,
if these guys
I'm
don't,
all for him.
Then I'm these guys the Democratic Party should have kicked him out or did something because
that should be almost a prereq for coming in the debates. Is look, this is a private club, the Democratic.
I know people get so mad. They're oh, I don't like that. I can't vote in the Democratic primary in the states that have been allowed. I'm well, you
can. You just got to become a Democrat.
Yeah, register and become a Democrat.
Yeah, there's no.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's no dues.
This is not they're the ones paying for the elections.
Right.
They're the ones paying for it.
It's me getting pissed off that I can't vote at the board meetings at Target. Why don't they have so?
Oh, I can't get in there, those bastards.
Right.
Yeah, no, too fucking bad.
Yeah, buy some stock.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do anything you want. You just gotta
pony up a couple million. But or register as a Democrat.
Yeah.
And just vote how you want. Put in the psycho that you want. Yeah. Or the person that shouldn't be there, or what you think should be there. What?
Or the plant.
Yeah, the Russian plant. So she's gonna be at the next debate.
Yeah.
Which I'm just I know, I see all these people go after Warren, go after Warren. I think Warren can handle her.
Warren would clean her clock.
I think unless she gets interrupted or something happens, Warren will squash her.
Yeah.
She'll crush her. I'm not concerned about that. there's do you know what the Hill is? Are you familiar with them? Yeah, I don't like them.
I think they're like a right-leaning group.
Well, there's this one woman on named Crystal Ball, and everyone's fawning over her as if she's this liberal bastion. And I'm just she tweets today oh yay, Tulsi's in debate. I'm like, why? And she's attacking Warren and I haven't listen. There's all these people who are there's a lot of people supposedly on the left that are attacking Warren. I like Sanders.
Oh yeah.
He's my top 2 with her. And I know people that are hating on Warren. They're saying all these horrible things. They're basically making her out to be worse than Klobuchar, which I just find completely deranged. Yeah. And I just have an issue at this point in the election. That's why I don't really have a candidate.
Right.
Because I want someone to beat Trump. We're not living in normal times anymore.
No, we need
to fully back people. If you, it's remember Susan Sarandon?
Oh, yeah.
With her,
right.
with Bernie and everything, but then she wouldn't even back Clinton. Yeah. Well, guess what? She's super fucking rich.
Yeah.
She's not even just a famous actress. She has money invested in all kinds of things. She owns properties. She owns a huge bowling alley on the west side of New York City.
Oh, okay.
She's a rich ass motherfucker. Yeah. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. She can say whatever the fuck she wants. She has a luxury.
Yeah.
You don't. Unless you do. I don't know you.
Well,
I'm talking about you.
Most of us don't, and you got to pull behind the candidate that takes it,
You got to get rid of Trump.
Yeah.
And it's not just Trump. It's the entire GOP mechanism.
It's the apparatus,
you have to squash the ideology. You cannot have these judges anymore. We need health care. We need the environment. I'm sorry if, you don't get the perfect candidate. If you're sitting there and you're I need to have a candidate that's barely pulling 2%, in the next debate, I don't trust you.
Yeah, you're part of the problem.
She doesn't need to be in there. Honestly, I wish the Democrats raised it and they said, guess what? If you're not in 5%, you don't get to be here. So that means if Beto's not there, I'd rather at this point, if you're not polling more than a certain amount,
Well, I like the idea. Yeah, we shouldn't be back up to 12 candidates. The last one was 10.
Well, what's funny
is
be
the top 10.
Isn't it Tom Steyer in the other one?
Oh,
did he get in?
I don't know. That would.
So yeah, the next debate is she's gonna be there, and Tom Steyer's gonna be there, and I would love to see her have to defend her anti-impeachment and say that bullshit on stage. She's gonna get her destroyed by everyone. And Tom Steyer, who's been his whole main existence as a candidate, he's been saying this now since Trump got in. I've been getting emails from him. I don't even know how. I'm getting emails from him, basically impeach Trump.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that.
Right.
And then we could say, Tom Steyer destroyed Tulsi on
yeah, Twitter. Right. Destroyed in all caps.
Yeah, in all caps with lasers and everything. So whatever. It's she'll only exist if you keep bringing her up, I guess.
Yeah.
I just think that unfortunately,
she's like the Babadook.
I just think the problem with her, and I feel with candidates like Yang, is they're not really Democrats. And I know she technically is, but the way she's been acting and behaving, she's not. And he's not really he's not even a candidate that I don't trust him really backing the candidate. No. I don't know what he's gonna do. I think he will run third party. I could totally see him doing that, and he'll just be the libertarian candidate or some bullshit.
Yeah.
And he's another one. He's weird. I don't know. He tries to send these tweets out, but again, it's I just have an issue with the people who back. It's when Ben Shapiro's the one that backs you. I'm
right.
Then that's no good.
Right. Then that's no good. Well,
all right. Well, back to Trump.
Yeah,
because that's the big fish.
Right. So I think that the House has to. They have the inquiry, and then it goes to a small committee, and they vote whether or not to impeach, and then the whole House has to vote. And
don't the Dems have enough votes, basically?
Yeah, I think last I heard they had 218. I think they have enough votes so they can get it out of the House and into the Senate, and then the Senate conducts a trial. The House only finds enough evidence for there to be a trial. They're
oh yeah, sure, in the good hands of Lindsey Graham, and Mitch McConnell, and John Cornyn, and
look. If it stays the way it is, then it would die in the Senate quickly.
But that's fine, and they have to defend it.
Sure. But, look, all we've seen so far is... this is funny. we've not even seen the transcript of the call. We've seen Bill Barr, known liars, memorandum summarizing the call.
Oh, right. Oh,
right.
This is the funniest thing today. Didn't something get sent to all the Democrats?
Yes. The White House...
They accidentally sent something, and then they sent the thing and said...
points,
and then they sent their talking points, and then they sent a redacted thing after, which is hysterical.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oopsie.
Right.
Please ignore that. Force field.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was saying about the Republicans and how they are. I'm like, they're that kid that you used to, like, play with when you were younger, and he was the douchebag who would, like, if you were winning at Atari or Nintendo, whatever age you are, he was the one who would, like, pull the plug or tell you, like, I'm having dinner now, I gotta go home. Right. Or he'd say he's gotta go home. Or he'd say force field if you were playing tag. He's that person. Yeah. Rules don't apply.
Or he would rat you out for your fantasy football league.
Yeah.
While you're just trying to have a good time.
Right. Yeah. Or make up bullshit about how you can't have a judge in a year before the election.
Yes.
And then they said guarantee that McConnell will say some bullshit, like if it goes to next year, you can't impeach a president the year of the election.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Sure.
It would be laughable.
That's fine. Look, here's the thing.
He's going to say something douchey anyway.
The irony of this is that eventually a Democrat's going to take the White House. Let's just say Trump wins. Like, eventually you get a Democrat.
I don't know. He cannot get in. We cannot afford another 4 years.
But let's just say
he's the kind of guy that if he gets another 4 years, it will validate everything.
Yeah.
And he will literally crush. Like, it'll just be a hell.
Well, eventually Democrats are going to take over. And now there's like a decent amount of precedent that says president can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. They said that. They said that, like, if you claim, like, when he took funding for the wall and emergency funding, they're like, well, guess what? You know, I'm going to do that for the environment. So I'm going to do that for healthcare.
Like,
which is hysterical, though. That Republican. That just shows you how.
Yeah.
If you're just an average Joe or an average Josephina,
sure,
you hear a Republican say that should be a red flag of, like, wait, you're concerned that they would use things that would benefit me.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want them to do that. It's like...
Well, I'll tell you, man, like, they're really counting on the fact that the next Democratic president won't call up a foreign leader and say, hey, next time Ivanka's abroad, lock her up. You know, they're really counting on the Democrats being much better people than them, or they're completely fucked.
Well, okay, so the joke was, and this is something that the talking heads on TV will say, not just like, oh, it'll die in the Senate. The other critique was, well, look what happened with Clinton. Clinton got very popular. And you can make the argument and say, okay, well, Trump, the Republicans' impeachment on Clinton was a joke because all it was on a consensual thing he had, and he lied about that.
Well, they said it was obstruction of justice and lying under oath, which Trump has done pretty consistently.
It's just, the fact is that they wasted hundreds of millions of tax dollars doing this.
Yeah.
And it was based on nothing that affected anyone.
Right. Based on oral sex.
Consensual
oral sex.
Remember the one guy, that one senator, the Republican, who was revealed to, like, have a wide stance in a bathroom?
Yes. I was just thinking about him the other day.
Oh, were you?
Yes. Well, they said someone said something, and it was... Yeah, I remember the guy.
He's a naughty boy. Right. A nasty boy.
He's got a wide stance, right?
Well, so that senator, like in the late mid 2000s, was known for cruising in bathroom stalls in, like, airports and parks. And they were playing clips of him talking about Clinton during the impeachment hearing. And he was just like, Clinton is a dirty boy.
Yeah,
and a nasty boy. And like, with the new, like, eyes. Like, wow.
The glimmer in his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be a blue dress.
Oh,
no. In a bathroom.
Right. Ugh.
He goes to the bathrooms, and the thing he looks for when he goes is the holes on the side of the doors. He's like, where are they? He's like, where are they? I'm out of here.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Yeah.
So, they got him on that. And so the argument was, well, Clinton got really popular. Okay, that's great, but that was his last term. He wasn't running again. But guess what? He had a vice president. And what worked about it with all the pressure was that Gore distanced himself from a very popular president. because it still was a stain on him.
Yeah.
If Gore had better, we're talking about jizz.
Yeah.
So he distanced himself because he had bad, again, taking bad advice from morons, like real weak Democrats that were like running his campaign. I mean, honestly, if they had any ounce of like fortitude or whatever, they would have been like, yeah, of course I'm going to have Clinton like speak for me. He was like great economy. The economy was doing better, and we're like, we're going in a better path.
Right.
Of course I'm going to run on this, and
Yeah.
I'm going to like let him do all the speeches and like, but instead he fell for the culture war trap that the Republicans set him up with,
Yeah.
and he distanced himself from Clinton. And guess what? You got George W. Bush. Now, of course, he did have his brother help him steal. Jeb Bush did help steal Florida from him.
Yeah.
But regardless, George W. Bush should have been crushed by Gore.
Should have been. Yeah.
And so the Republicans set him up, and the media set him up by making, even though the general public still favored Clinton, even during the impeachment, they were like, this is bullshit. No one was on the side of this. And there's people claiming that like people are not on the side of this impeachment. I don't believe that. No, bullshit.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think people are aware, but they also said, we're so early in on this. This is just day 2.
Right.
And then they haven't even started yet.
Yeah, we're not really, I mean, like...
She just announced it.
It's happening so quickly because... well,
Donald
today...
Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Well, today, like... because we'll probably release this episode in a day or two.
Yeah.
And they announced impeachment yesterday. Today is when we found not the transcript, but the summary of the call. I think tomorrow the whistleblower is going to appear before Congress.
Well, that should be interesting.
I mean, it's just kind of a lot's happening. I think it's kind of a mistake.
What else happened today? We'll end it on this. Trump had, I guess, did he always have a meeting, or did he force the president of Ukraine? They had a meeting today.
Yes, they had a meeting today.
And it had like echoes of the disastrous Helsinki press conference with Putin.
Yeah.
Where the guy you could see in the guy's face in the Ukraine that like he's being forced to like...
Yes. It's
the
like
whole thing was ridiculous.
Right. It's when the teacher catches the bully who has like the little kid by the throat, and the little kid's like, "Oh, we're just playing, Mrs. Johnson." You know, and the bully's like, "See, we're just playing."
But the guy's like, Trump says all these ridiculous things. He says that he called Nancy Pelosi to discuss guns, and I guess she doesn't care about guns or protecting people. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You don't give a shit about people. There's been more mass, I would say, most mass shootings happen under this fucking guy.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that, but there's been a lot. It's like every couple days.
Amount. The Vegas one alone, the Pulse shooting, that was all during this. We've had insane ones in the past 2 years. And this piece of shit, he's showed... Yeah, I was going to talk about guns, but I guess she doesn't care about guns and protecting people.
Wow.
Oh, well, Nancy's lost it. And then what did he say today? He goes, which is completely
she's no longer
longer
Speaker of the House.
So this is where I already know what the Republicans are going to say to defend this.
Yeah.
So even though they usually wait a day and the next day they barrage the Monday morning with this, they're going to say that Trump did not mean that she's no longer Speaker of the House. They're going to say that the fanatical left of the squad has taken her hostage. So in a way, I didn't say that she's not in charge of it. In a way, I didn't say that Darth Vader isn't your father. I didn't say that he wasn't. I was just saying them. It's like it's gonna be this bullshit.
No, you see them writing on the wall.
It's gonna be this kabuki theater bullshit where they're just gonna say, "No, Donald Trump didn't mean that. He meant to say that she's no longer she's not running it anymore.
Right. She's not Speaker of the people,
or she's not in charge." The radical left is saying that is bullshit. She's in charge.
Well, yes,
she's been waiting.
Right.
She's been waiting.
This will be good.
So that's just the beginning, guys.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're recording this Wednesday.
Yep.
It's been just one day, and he's already given up Pence.
Yeah.
He had that ridiculous press conference with the Ukrainian president today, which was really revealing. The leaked transcript.
Yeah.
And then the redacted, or not. Well, and then what else was there? There was something else.
The whistleblower report went to the select committee.
Right.
This afternoon.
So and then all the other bullshit we were talking about.
Yeah.
So it's going to get real interesting. We might have to do another episode next week,
right?
like as an update. So, yeah, we're going to get this out Friday, but you guys are going to probably listen and be like, that's old news.
Right.
In that time period, Trump came out in his underwear.
President Pence already took care of this.
President Pence already took care of this. And declared Mother's Day is every day or something.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Except for when he goes on his cruise.
Yes.
With that senator.
Yeah. All right.
All
right. I'm Joseph K.
I'm Rob Israel. You still going on about
that?
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That with myself, Rob Israel, and Joseph K. Remember, you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, CastBox, and Podbean. So remember to like and subscribe, share, comment, leave us a basket of fruit or candy. Thank you for listening. All right, later. Bye.